Hello everyone. I am back home in my apartment in Brisbane. It's so nice over here. Look at this view. It's beautiful. I wanted to talk today about a question that comes up all the time when people start finding out that I'm a dominatrix. So, what is a dominatrix? What does a dominatrix do? What are sessions? What can you expect from sessions? What type of sessions there are? It's just a barrage of questions, one after the other. So I wanted first, this is probably going to be a three-part video because I don't want to keep it too long, yeah? So first, there's a few different types of sessions, yeah? First is a domination session. A domination session is your traditional session where you're going to be interacting with me on a physical level, yes? Secondly, we have a coaching session, which is where I teach you or a group of your friends or a couple, you and your partner, how to do domination, how to do BDSM and all these kinky fun things. The third type of session is a Skype session. Now, Skype sessions can be a training session, so it can be a long distance training where I'm teaching you to do kinky things and you can be playing with yourself on the other side. So it's like having a cam session. Or you can have a Skype therapy session, like a coaching to talk about your fetishes. And I mean, most people don't have if you're not in the fetish scene, you might not have the ability to discuss the things that you like, and is my fetish normal? Am I a pervert? Am I a freak? All these issues can be really damaging and stressful for your psychology. So we can have a Skype session, which is a little bit like a therapy session. I do have a psychology degree, so if I feel like something is too intense that you do need to get further help, I can send you to somebody else. I'm not going to be your therapist, but I can at least know whether something is too serious. Yeah. So this video, I'm going to start talking about just the domination sessions. I'm going to focus on the domination sessions. So basically, a domination session, it depends on what your fetishes are. Basically, firstly, everyone has different fetishes, and depending on what you tell me that are your interests, your fetish interests, then we're going to create the session according to that. So the first thing I do before we book a session is to discuss what sort of things you're into. We negotiate the different fetishes, and most people are like, I don't even know what I like. Can you tell me? My website has a lot of different fetishes. I've written down all the fetishes that I like. Mind you, I am not perfect, so I might not have done your fetish yet, even though I've done domination for 18 years. Maybe I haven't done your fetish. I just discovered one recently, 6 months ago, that I had never done before. So, surprise, surprise, there might be some of you out there with things that I haven't done. So don't be shy. If it's not on my website, doesn't mean that I don't do it, but it just means that maybe I haven't tried or that I don't do it very often. So feel free to ask. So go to my website, which is linked already on this post, and you can find out what are the fetishes that I offer. And I also have a blog to what do we get out of the fetishes? Normally, what does somebody get out of a foot fetish, for example, or golden showers, or what is horny about it? What excites people about it? So what is it about the fetish that is interesting? So there's a blog there as well on the link, so you can check that out. Some of the things that we can do that are offered, I will tell you now. We can do some bondage, which is to tie you up with ropes or using shackles, bondage restraints, leather bondage restraints, these sort of things, to keep you restrained. When you are restrained and you can't move, you get this sense of like, oh my God, this is against my will. But obviously we have discussed all these things beforehand. So it's all with full consent, but you can have this, I don't want to game going on. So bondage it allows you to really surrender into that space and to relax into that space. For some people, bondage is almost like having your seatbelt in the car. You feel safe when you're tied on, when you're strapped in, you feel more safe. So there's a lot of psychological things that go into the bondage. I could talk about bondage for like an entire video. But there's bondage, Discipline, discipline, normally people go, oh, I don't like any pain. That's okay, because pain is a huge range. You can go, like, I studied pain for 3 years in my neuroscience degree, so I urge you to try it, because most people, they come and have a spanking, they think they're going to be freaking out, that it's going to be too painful, and then they're like, wow, I didn't realize I could take that much, because it is all about how erotic it's feeling at the moment. So we can do things like spanking, using different types of whips, floggers, paddles, crops, all these different implements to create an intense sensation, I call it. It doesn't necessarily have to be pain. For some people it's painful, but for other people it's just intense. It's just an intensity. We also have other things that might have really a little bit scary names, like cock and ball torture or nipple torture. You think of torture as something that they did in the Spanish Inquisition. Well, you know, this is just a name. All right, so it's cock and ball play and nipple play. So I might squeeze your nipples, might squeeze your balls, tie your balls together, if you have balls, and just kind of play with it, you know, on this edge of pain pleasure, and explore with that. Just explore different sensations. Sometimes also using different textures of implements, like scratchy gloves, the vampire gloves, which are my favorite. I love vampire gloves, and other types of soft and hard and sharp and, you know, stingy. So different sensations, especially on the nipples and on the balls and cock and balls, tends to be very arousing for people. Yes. We also like to do, I also like to do offer body worship, which is in a way something that you, like, some people have a fetish for feet. They love feet. They want to kiss the feet or lick the feet, or, you know, put the whole foot into their mouths and things like this, you know. So there's the sense of like the worship of the body. So some people have leg fetish or foot fetish or boot fetish, and I'm just going to show you what I'm wearing. These boots are made for walking. They're beautiful. And legs and boobs, you know. So people love the worship of the body, and I try to keep myself in shape. I work out quite a bit to stay in this shape so that I can be worshipped as a goddess. I lost my train of thought. No, yes, and the other thing. Other things that we can include is role play and humiliation. So again, all these different games, these are all part of domination. So doesn't mean that if you like one thing, doesn't mean you have to do everything. Yeah? You just look at the different things and go, oh, hang on, I might like this, or this sounds horny. I'm like, I'm not so sure about this. Then we don't have to use it. You know, it's more, I see the list of fetishes as a smorgasbord. Yes, like a all-you-can-eat buffet. You can have as much or as little as you like from this list. So when I ask you, give me your list, you know, give me your fetish interests, it's because then I can create this feast from the things that you like. Doesn't mean I'm going to include everything that you asked. I might, you know, tease you with it and keep it for the next session or something like this, just so that, you know, I don't want to give it all on this first session. But if you, you know, some people, when they're in the submissive space, they feel like, oh, but if I ask for it, then I'm not being submissive, then I'm topping from the bottom and things like this. So it's okay. I'm asking so we can negotiate, and I will still make the ultimate decision, you know, the final decision as the mistress of what we're going to do in the session and how we're going to do it in the session. Yes. So for now, this is a domination session. Basically, this is what we do. Normally it lasts between an hour and a half and 3 hours. My most common session is 2 hours. Is usually what I recommend for beginners, is to start at 2 hours, because, you know, it takes a little while for you to get into the zone, you know, into this feeling of surrender. If you just do 1 hour, you like blink and it's finished. Yeah. And then it's just a bit of a waste of money and time, really, because you get much better, more value for your time and your money if you do a 2 hour session. So I recommend that as a start, as a beginner. So if you have any more questions about domination, about fetish, just put it on the comments, or you can send me an email as well, because I love to educate people about kink, about fetish, about tantra. I haven't spoken about tantra today, but I also love to talk about that, to share and expand the knowledge of people, so you can play together. You can come to me, and we can do sessions, the two of us, that's fine. Or if you come as a couple, we can also do it together, and I can teach you how to play, so you can play together at home. And I also encourage you to go to fetish parties and start playing with other people too, you know, because I'm only one person. I can't play with everybody in the world at all times, and I have my own private life to deal with. So for now, I'm gonna leave you with that. If you have any more questions, put it on the comments. I'm going to do 2 more live videos to explain the other 2 types of sessions that I do, but I'm going to break it here so you can have a little bit of a breather. All right, speak to you later. Bye-bye. Khalees Mercury out.